Hear me out, man. You read the title, right? Semen retention stimulates your psychic maturation. Yes, sir. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up, my guy. Oh, man, that was a nice motherfucking snap right there. The practice of semen retention and the path of spiritual celibacy will stimulate your psychic maturation. You might be wondering, okay, man, what the fuck does that even mean, man? Come on, Fulati, what the fuck does that even mean? Semen retention stimulating my psychic maturation? What am I gonna be reading people's minds now? Doing telepathy, levitating, lasers out of my eyes? Well, relax, relax. Just relax, my guy. I'm gonna need you to just take a deep breath, because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. So first things first, what you must come to understand along this journey of using semen retention and using celibacy as the tool it was intended to be to help you elevate mentally, physically, and spiritually is the fact that you will now be inducing your second and third puberties. And now before you click off, I'm like, man, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Second and third puberties now? Let me break it down. Let me break it down. You see, when you start hitting the age ranges of 14, 15, 16 years old, as a man, as a boy, what starts happening? You start kicking into your first puberty. I'm talking, your voice gets deeper. You start to grow that Adam's apple. You start to get some hair on your face, some hair on your chest, some hair on your nuts. Your motherfucking nuts finally drop now. That's the first puberty, your physical puberty, which is ignited due to your hormones start kicking in, such as testosterone. Testosterone is what is responsible for your masculine attributes. And one of the things that comes along with it is the increase in your libido, increase in your sex drive, increase in your interest for the other gender, which is totally natural. Yet, most of us aren't given the information, the details, the wisdom, the motherfucking game and sauce, so you ain't out here looking like a motherfucking lame, you dig what I'm saying? For us to be able to actually use this increase in testosterone, increase in libido especially, towards the next stages of our evolution, towards the next puberties that come into play. You see, this libido is actually the source of the next stages of the puberty, your second and third puberty. Yet most of us during this day and age, once we start hitting our first puberty, become addicted to sexuality, become a slave to our senses. Whether that be through pornography, whether that be through hookup culture, whatever it is, we start to get confined. Our consciousness starts to get confined into thinking that sexual energy is just merely for that act of physical reproduction. When that libido, when it's learned to be transmuted and redirected towards your higher states of consciousness, will be the spark that starts up your psychic maturation. So let's break it down even more. You see, in each and every single mystery school, in each and every single occult tradition, esoteric sources of wisdom have told us that the sexual force of man, the generative force, is a gateway to higher states of consciousness, is a gateway to your higher self when properly propelled to the peak states or peak chakras, the higher chakras. When they are still stuck in the lower states, when your sexual energy is still stuck in its lower states because it's always being depleted, it can only go from the first and a second layer, aka the Muladhara, aka the root chakra, and the sacral chakra being the Svadhisthana. If it's only operating in there, you do not actually start to mature and kickstart your psychic maturation, because that is the fuel for it to actually develop and get this whole ball rolling in the right direction. This is the fuel to get the train on the right track. You are cucking your overall development, and you're confining it to only the lower states of consciousness because you are depleting the most potent force of prana that you have access to. I'm talking about this prana, your sexual energy, the cosmic force that we call kundalini, has the power to create another human being. It's the only reason you're here. It's the only reason I'm here. It's the only reason these plants and animals are here. Sexual energy. Yet that sexual energy isn't just made for physical sex. Also for psychic and spiritual. Better yet, psychic and spiritual reproduction. It gives the energy for those engines to start running. Yet most of us, again, within the midst of the Maya, the matrix, the illusion, the material world that is designed in ways to degenerate us and keep us stuck in our lower states of consciousness, deplete that energy all throughout this time period. From 14 years old, 12 years old, 10 years old, all the way till our deathbed, because we never come into the understanding, better yet the understanding of this occult wisdom that all these ancient traditions knew, yet we are lacking in the modern times we are living in today. That's why they push pornography. Even on kids, you go on TikTok, that's pornography. You go on Instagram, that's basically pornography now. Who's on these apps? The younger generations. And they are losing the essence, the vital force that can kickstart the second and third puberties. So that second puberty in specific is your psychic development. It is the development of another stage or another phase of the mind. In the Gnostic tradition, in Gnostic psychology, you have three minds that you have access to. One is the Hylic mind, which correlates to the lower three chakras. Those lower three chakras are focused on what? Survival, sex, status. That is the first puberty. Only thinking about the physical world, never realizing that you are something more beyond the brain and body. The second brain is called the psychic brain. No coincidence. That is correlating to the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the bridge between the lower states of reality and the higher states of consciousness. The animal instincts and the angelic intuition. That's what most of us are missing. You cannot expect yourself to develop, spiritually speaking, if you do not actually start to conform and build out the bridge from the lower states, from the physical world, from the material world, on over to the higher planes, which is the psychological aspect of man, the psychic mind. Let me break it down even in more depth. You see, within many ancient cultures and mythological traditions, there's a archetype of a god, an entity, a deity, that is the messenger between the higher realms and the lower realms. Within the Greek tradition, they call this god Hermes. Hermes is also known as Mercury by the Romans. Within alchemical traditions, Mercury is signified by the mind, the psyche. Hopefully you're picking up what the fuck I'm putting down. In order for you to actually receive divine insights and divine wisdom about who and what you are, what you were really meant to do here on this incarnation, aka your dharma, your duty, that divine wisdom, that divine knowledge, better yet, that divine gnosis, aka wisdom that's only accessed internally, you're not going to find it anywhere else but yourself. That is never truly going to be transferred onto you, the material world, if you do not develop that psychic mind. Mercury is the mind, is the psyche. Hermes is Mercury. Hermes is the messenger of the gods. So if you want that information from God, from the divine that's within you, to actually be heard, you must build the bridge, which is made by the psyche. That's why I got a full video about this topic on this channel, stating that you cannot truly tap into spiritual wisdom without doing the prerequisites of your psychological development. It's literally titled Psychology is a Prerequisite for Spirituality. And the psychic mind isn't just built by, again, reading psychology books, reading Carl Jung. No, sir. It's built through this path of self-mastery by coming over the compulsions of the mind that keep you stuck into those lower states. Your mind is neutral. Think about it like that. Either can be connected to the Wi-Fi code of God, or it can be connected to the Ethernet cable of your carnal nature. God damn, that was a fucking bar right there. The Wi-Fi code to God, or the Ethernet cable, like a chain that keeps you stuck in your carnal mind, your lower animalistic instincts. When you actually are practicing semen retention and celibacy for the real reasons that these occultists talk about, that this esoteric wisdom talks about, that the ancient teachings of the ascended masters talk about, you are building up that psychic oh man, that fucking fly just went in my damn ear. You are building up that psychic mind because you are going into the second stage of your puberty. You are developing the heart chakra, which allows you to go beyond being stuck in a state where all you think about is survival, sex, status, survival, sex, status, survival, sex, status. That's what the Heilig mind does. That's what animals do. You have the animal within you, but also you have the free will to build a bridge on over to the higher self, on over to the spirit within you, the divine spark within you. Yet that's not going to be accomplished if that energy, that prana, that has the ability to create another human being is not channeled upwards to create the bridge to your higher states of consciousness. Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? That second puberty is crucial for the third puberty to happen. You can't have the third one without the second one. The third one is a spiritual, or in the case of the Gnostic mind, the Gnostic psychology that we just talked about, is the pneumatic mind. In order for you to actually tap into that, understand, better yet, understand who and what you are beyond the lower states of consciousness, beyond just the brain and body, tap into self-realization, you must first go under the prerequisite preliminary steps of self-mastery. Self-mastery induces the second puberty. Let that sink in your motherfucking psyche. Let that marinate in your motherfucking mind. Self-mastery sparks your second puberty, your psychic maturation. And again, going back to the heart chakra, this is the state of consciousness where you realize, oh wow, I'm not the center of the universe. Oh wow, there's more to this life beyond survival, sex, and status. And that curiosity, that purity, that inner child state is what allows you to be more curious, to uncover the next realms, which directly correlate to the higher three chakras, which directly correlate to your third puberty, the spiritual birth. You're not going to get to that point by being a slave to your senses, by being a slave to sex especially, because that libido that has the ability to create another human being is the force that is needed to be actually applied to create the bridge between the animal and the angel within you, between the instincts and the intuition. Your intellect is the bridge. Think about it like that. Intuition, higher three chakras. Again, taps you into knowledge and gnosis that you can't find anywhere else but yourself. That's the higher three chakras. In between is the intellect, the mind, the psyche, which is the bridge between that and the instincts, your lower three chakras. Only thinking about survival, sex, and status. If you want to bridge, or you want to bounce from this level to that, there is no shortcuts. You must go through the second puberty. You must go through your psychic maturation. And the psychic maturation is all about taking back sovereignty over your mind, over your psyche. What does that mean? There's a great quote from Osho. I always bring this up. The mind can either be a beautiful servant or a horrible master. Let me say that again. The mind can either be a beautiful servant or a horrible master. You see, the matrix, the mind, the illusion, the material world, society around you is built in ways to make your mind work against you, work as an enemy rather than an ally. And it designs the mind in a way where it disconnects you from the divine. God damn, that's a bar. Write it down. It designs the mind in a way that disconnects you from the divine. It blocks off that bridge. It doesn't allow you to build it because all you're thinking about is what? Survival, sex, and status. You're depleting your energy. You're depleting your attention. You're depleting your focus on nonsensical, fleeting pursuits that are never going to truly fulfill you. Yet you're on the hamster wheel of desires, going after again and again and again and again and again, never stopping this endless cycle because it is a bottomless pursuit or bottomless pit. This pursuit is a bottomless pit. It'll never be satisfied. No amount of cars, money, clothes, hoes will ever satisfy your soul. It will never even satisfy your mind or body because it's temporary. You need to eat every single day. You need to eat every single day. Yet the soul, if you give it one thing, which is its destiny, its dharma, that's the diet it needs, it'll be fulfilled for all of eternity because that's its gateway to liberation. The ultimate goal of the soul is liberation. Your one-way ticket to liberation is your dharma, your destiny, what you were really brought here to do. Each and every single one of us has one. Each and every single one of us was brought here for a bigger purpose beyond just satisfying the senses. Because if that was the case, you would have came here as an animal. You would have incarnated in the animal realm. Because I'm sorry to tell you, buddy, but the universe, God itself, don't make mistakes. It's way fucking smarter than you. If that was your only duty, why would it have let you come into this existence as a human being? Because a human being has the intellect, aka the free will, to either follow the path of true fulfillment or follow back down the descending spiral of de-evolution. De-evolution means you are de-evolving. You're going back to our chimpanzee states. You're going back to the animalistic realm. And that leads on over to your next incarnations. The more you stay stuck in your carnal states, the next time you come here might be as an animal. Who the fuck knows? That karmic debt, those karmic entanglements might be so strong to the point where you come back next time as an animal because you did not develop the psychic side of your mind to go beyond this and eventually bridge you back to the divine. This is what these occultists, this is what this true path of semen retention celibacy is about. It's not about just quitting porn. It's not just about, oh man, how many days are you on it? How much female attraction are you getting at? What the benefits that you see? No, the real journey is about taking back sovereignty over your mind, sparking your second puberty in order for you to actually kickstart the next phase, which is the third puberty, which is the ascent towards self-realization. This is not going to happen if you remain a slave to your senses. You must embark on this path of self-mastery, which semen retention and celibacy is a part of. It isn't the whole motherfucking thing, but it's a big part of it. A huge part of it. Because once you now have that prana flowing upwards, flowing upstream instead of downstream, and actually stimulating your higher chakras, you start to evolve once again. Not de-evolve, not regress, but actually start to progress in your spiritual development, which requires, first off, your psychic development. The mind, body, and soul are all one. That is the self. The mind, the body are the two foundations for you to awaken your soul. If your body is just filled with poisons and toxins, forget about self-realization. If your mind is polluted with all this programming and conditioning that blocks you from your true purpose, forget about spirituality. These two are the keys to unlock the door to your divine essence. You might have one down, which is the physical puberty, but what about your psychic puberty? What about the second? To start up the third one, the top of the triangle, the top of the pyramid. This path to self-mastery, the stuff that we talk about here on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community, man, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. Listen up, my guy. I want you to take a good look in the mirror right now. Pause whatever you're doing. Go take a good look in the closest mirror that's next to you. I really want you to analyze the guy that's looking right back at you, that's staring right into your soul, that's staring right into your eyes. Really take a good mental picture. Because that, oh man, another fly. That guy that's staring right back into your soul, you're doing him, not me, the guy that's looking at you in the mirror, a huge motherfucking disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community yet. Because within there, man, we are truly uncovering this esoteric science of self-mastery, piece by piece, layer by layer, in depth and in detail, my guy. I'm talking about going into all these ancient texts, going out into this occult wisdom, giving us the guide, the blueprint to ascend back up to the states of bliss, of spiritual ecstasy, so we can drink from that divine nectar and become our highest self on the mental, physical, and spiritual planes of existence. God damn, man, these fucking flies. I'm out here in the flesh, in the field, sacrificing myself with these flies, bro. Come on now, listen up. Matter of fact, we got a full video that goes in depth into this specific topic about semen retention and its role within our second and third puberties. I'm talking about, if you liking this, you're gonna love that. Because we actually start to unpack all the ancient occult texts that piece it all together. This is just off the dome, man. Imagine what we got in there. And along with that, you get access to our full guides, in-depth occult lectures, and most importantly, if you tap into the Philosopher's Circle, aka the highest membership tier group within the private Patreon community, you'll get access to our private group chat, which is where we host our bi-weekly Mastermind live calls. Yes, sir, 2 live calls each and every single month. We hop on a call with me as well as a community of like-minded men who are also on this path of self-mastery, who are also kickstarting their psychic maturation, who are also kickstarting their second and third puberties through this ascent of self-mastery, which semen retention and celibacy, again, is a huge part of. If you want to be around people who will hold you accountable, who want to see you elevate, and who want to see you truly liberate, then I'm telling you, man, the Philosopher's Circle is the place for you, my guy. It is the place for you. A community of people that are on the same journey, maybe taking a different path, but on the same ascent, and that are gonna meet you at the mountaintop of self-realization, is priceless, man. Being around this community will only elevate you. Find a tribe that elevates your motherfucking vibe, man. So if you're interested in hearing more about the Philosopher's Circle and the overall private Patreon community, check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video. Because not only will you find the link to the private Patreon community, but also links to the other services I provide, such as my personalized coaching program. If you're trying to work with me one-on-one to help you disintegrate, detox, and dissolve the karmic bonds that are derived from all these degenerate habits, causing all these mental blockages, physical blockages, spiritual blockages, from you ever being able to discover your true destiny, discover your true purpose, discover your dharma, then tap in with an application form. We'll see if your criteria meets the qualifications for the coaching program. This is what it's all about, man. Self-mastery is not about just some knowledge and wisdom that you hear about, but it's actually about applying it into your life so you discard all these compulsive behaviors that are blocking you from your true self, that are creating barriers, that are creating just overall disconnection between you and the divine. If you're ready to hop into this and help me, or have me help you, actually go through this process. Tap in the application form if you want to book a one-on-one consultation to discuss anything that you're dealing with to help you get back on the right track. tap in with the link that we got there. We got a free community Discord server. We got weekly newsletters. Again, all that stuff posted in the pinned comment of this video. Make sure you go run it up, my guy. But like I was saying, there's stuff that we're talking about on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community especially, in my personalized coaching program especially, is all about the tools to help start this process of first the second puberty and then the third puberty. Carl Jung talks about this, but he talks about the 3 deaths or the 3 births we have, which is first the physical, the second your psychological birth of actually forming the ego, and the third the spiritual, going beyond even the brain and body. This is something that's been seen in so many different traditions, so many different philosophies, that us as men in the modern age, if we forget about this stuff, if we don't actually come into understanding, better yet understanding of it, we're just cucking our potential. We are cucking what we can actually tap into. You're limiting yourself to only 1 or 2 aspects of reality. There's so much more to your internal world and this external world. Imagine getting a TV and you can only listen to 3 channels. There's fucking hundreds. Imagine going to a restaurant and you never order something new. There's hundreds of different menus. Different things on the menu. That is what you're doing if you just remain stuck in your carnal states of mind. If you just stay stuck in your first puberty. Men who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s are still stuck in their first puberty. They never develop the next stages, the next phases that will lead them to a life of fulfillment. That will lead them to, from these lower chakras, on over to the higher planes of consciousness. This is what self-mastery is all about. Ascending. And what you must ascend is not only external forces, but also the internal forces within you. It's a difficult journey. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. But for the men who are truly serious about this, especially the people that are watching this channel, I always say, the people that are watching this channel, the second channel, what the Fulati, we're out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these motherfucking gains. You dig what I'm saying? No cuts, no edits, just straight up speaking off the dome. You guys are already tapping in onto the edge of your psychic maturation because you're already a little bit more psychologically and spiritually advanced than the masses. Am I saying that you're better than anyone? Absolutely not. Am I saying that you're a chosen one while watching this channel? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is maybe due to past lives, maybe due to some of the karmas you've been dissolving, you can actually grasp these deeper level concepts that most people will never tap into within this incarnation. You cannot waste these gifts given to you by God within this vessel that you have right now on nonsensical pursuits, on not actually applying this wisdom. Because the people that watch self-help videos, self-help books over and over and over again without actually applying the wisdom, we call them mental masturbators. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, you just by listening to this type of stuff don't mean shit if you don't apply it. If you're not actually willing to embark on this path of self-mastery because you're too attached to the ego, you're too attached to being a slave to your senses, bro, you're just a spiritual masturbator. Sorry to tell you that. You're not a mental masturbator, you're a spiritual masturbator. You got all the knowledge, you got all the wisdom, but you're never actually turning that wisdom and knowledge into gnosis because you don't have first-hand experience, because you have fear of what the unknown has for you. You have a fear of getting into that second puberty and getting into your psychic maturation because that requires you to give up the dead weight that is holding you back from actually being able to elevate. The short-term pleasures, the general societal norms, you must be willing to let that go in order to actually grow on the other planes of reality that you have stopped by being a slave to your senses, by indulging in nonsensical pursuits and depleting your sexual energy. This is one of the key components to that next phase of your evolution. to that next state of your consciousness. My bad if the wind is fucking getting crazy out here, but I'm loving it. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you guys are still stuck in those lower states, it's like operating at 30% of your potential, which is not only a disfavor to yourself, not seeing what you can truly accomplish here on this plane, but also it is a huge disfavor to everybody else around you, because your dharma, your destiny, which is discovered and derived from those higher states of consciousness, which is actually made accessible by building up that bridge of the psychic mind, that dharma, that destiny, what you're really brought here to do, not only fulfills you and truly feeds your heart, but it also helps uplift the collective consciousness of humanity. You might be that spark that lights the fuse of somebody else to start their path towards fulfillment, to start their path towards actually going beyond name and form, brain and body, to help them actually start their ascent towards self-mastery. That's what your dharma could do. That's the power of it. Not only fulfill you, but it'll uplift others. It could be through music, could be art, could be your business, could be a YouTube channel. Who the fuck knows? Only you know. I'm not here to tell you what your dharma is. None of the stuff that we talk about here on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community, with the people I'm working with one-on-one even. I'm not here to tell you what your dharma is. I'm not here to tell you what your purpose is. I'm here to help you dissolve the blockages, dissolve the karmic debts, dissolve the bonds that keep you a slave to the senses and keeps your psyche unaware of this divine realization. Let me bring up this analogy I always bring up. The sun is beaming on me right now. The sun is always there, especially in fucking California. But sometimes it's raining. It's not really snowing ever, but it could snow. Sometimes it's cloudy. Yet that sun is always there regardless. That sun is a metaphor for your true self, for the dharma that is contained within your true self. The clouds, the snow, the rain, those are all the karmic debts that you've accumulated within this lifetime and your past lifetimes. Self-mastery is about clearing up those clouds so you can see the sun directly for what it is and connect with it, connect with the dharma, and live in alignment with it. Semen retention and celibacy is a huge part of that. Because in order for this clearing of the clouds to even start, you must realize that there even are clouds. That's the psychic maturation part that most people are missing out on. And again, this goes way more in depth and way more in detail than I could just do off the dome. So if you want more information about this, man, tap into the video that we got about this specific topic in the private Patreon community. I guarantee you it's gonna fucking blow your mind. Because I mean, if you're watching a video for this fucking long, you're interested in these type of topics, and you are somebody who's actually ready to get on this path of self-mastery. Don't waste this knowledge and this information, these gifts to be able to grasp this information on indulging your lower senses and just remaining in that first stage of puberty. You have more to you. You have more to grow. You have more to expand. Yet that expansion requires a lot of sacrifice. It's not an easy path, especially celibacy and semen retention. I know that firsthand, but I'm telling you right now, the fulfillment that you get from actually ascending beyond your lower states of consciousness, beyond your carnal desires, is far greater. The psychic mind is a far clearer state of consciousness, that it gets you one step closer to the pneumatic mind, the higher states, the higher chakras, where the Dharma resides, where your one-way ticket to liberation resides. It's layer by layer, piece by piece. This is a linear progression. You cannot skip steps. And in order for you to get out of those first 3 lower states of survival, sex, and status, you must overcome them. If you want to overcome those lower 3 states of consciousness, those lower 3 chakras, you must go beyond survival. You must go beyond sex through semen retention and celibacy. And you must go beyond status. letting go of these materialistic desires. To say, oh man, I'm better than this guy, I'm better than that guy. Then now you finally start tapping into the state of consciousness, the psychic mind, the heart chakra, which makes you realize, oh shit, there is something deeper. You start getting into philosophies. You start getting into the knowledge and wisdom, which eventually starts getting applied as you ascend up to the higher chakras, the throat chakra of creativity, of intuition in the ajna, the third eye, and the crown chakra of self-realization. You start to apply it in that wisdom that you get from the heart chakra, which is funny enough, they always call the heart the mind in these esoteric and occult traditions. Once you start getting that knowledge of the mind and apply it into knowledge of first-hand experience, that knowledge turns into gnosis, and you start to cultivate the fruit of gnosis, the divine nectar of who and what you truly are beyond the brain and body, that you won't find anywhere. You won't find anywhere in the external world, because this is an inner state of illumination that only a few initiates of this ascending path will ever get to. Hopefully that's you, because if it's not you, you fucking wasted your time watching this video. I'm sorry to tell you that. You wasted fucking damn near 40 minutes of your life watching a guy ramble about self-realization, semen retention, celibacy, and the second puberty, psychic maturation. Maybe that was entertaining, but I guarantee the people that are watching this far into it, you guys are dedicated. You are true spiritual seekers and true spiritual aspirants towards this path of embodying your highest essence. It's no excuse at this point. And if you're struggling on this journey of semen retention, celibacy to spark that psychic maturation, and you have not tapped into the Art of Retention ebook yet, bro, you're missing out. You're missing out on the Patreon, you're missing out on the coaching program, and now you're missing out on the ebook. What the fuck are you doing? Have you not been paying attention this entire time? Because your boys got you covered with a full ebook on how to succeed on this journey of using semen retention, not as a religion, not as a self-improvement practice, but a true spiritual discipline that will help you ascend to the higher states of consciousness. If you have not tapped into that yet, make sure you go on YouTube right now and click in. Just type in how to succeed on semen retention. You'll find a full guide on our main channel, which is now The Philosopher. We are no longer Fulati Fitness. If you didn't know, now you know. Tap in with that. And within that video, you'll get a lot of wisdom. You get a lot of knowledge about this whole journey, but also you'll find the link to the Art of Retention ebook, totally free, written by yours truly, about every single thing that you need on this journey. And look, if you got ADHD, dyslexia, you can't fucking read, you're just retarded, your boys got you covered with a full audio series of the Art of Retention ebook. Again, just go on the main channel, Fulati Fitness, go on the playlist section and find the Art of Retention audio series right there for you. So there's no excuse. Pop it in while you're driving, pop it in while you're walking, pop it in while you're working, so you get up on some motherfucking game. So you ain't out here looking like a motherfucking lame, you dig what I'm saying? No excuse. It's time to produce. This path will stimulate your psychic maturation, and you'll feel it firsthand for yourself as your levels of consciousness raise beyond survival, sex, and status. And that is a prerequisite to start pondering what else life has to offer. Getting past that is getting into the heart chakra, is actually getting the second stage of your puberty down. After that, it's the third. That's a whole nother story in itself. If you want to learn more about that, again, the private Patreon community has got you covered. And again, if you're struggling even more on this path, you need more guidance, you want more support along this journey of self-mastery, which semen retention and celibacy, again, is a part of, it isn't the whole thing. Tap in with the Philosopher's Circle, man. Hop into our group chat. Join into the next Mastermind Life Call so we can discuss these things. You can actually have a group of men on the same journey, hold you accountable, who want to see you elevate and who want to see you liberate. If you want direct, one-on-one guidance to help you dissolve and disintegrate these karmic bonds that are distracting you and depleting your energy and disconnecting you from the divine essence that resides within you, shoot an application form. book a one-on-one consultation call. All these services are here for the men who are truly serious about self-mastery. If you made it this far, that is you. So if you're still struggling, man, check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video, like I said before. But this is not some fairy tale idea. The second and third stages of your psychic and spiritual maturation is something that most of us are lacking. And if you want to truly ascend to your highest state, it's going to require you to build out this overall journey from the lower states, the lower chakras, to the heart, back up to the states of bliss, euphoria, intuition, the God within you. You can't shortcut anything. You can't skip steps. If you want to truly see your highest spiritual potential, you better start with your psychic maturation to start off. So let's end it off right there. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these games, and I'm out of here. Peace.